The person living in this apartment got an alert on his phone that his bedroom security camera was turned on. When he checked, he saw two people going through his stuff on the video. In the video, a man enters the room holding a gun, followed by another man. They start searching through drawers, the closet, and bags. You can see and hear them as they continue rummaging through the bedroom. Suddenly, the men are startled when the resident speaks through the camera. They quickly ran away. On July 5, 2019, this surveillance video shows an earthquake at a home in Ridgecrest. In the parking area, two cars can be seen shaking while a pet runs around in fear. A frightening man can also be seen running to the next property, possibly looking for shelter. The camera inside the apartment showed how the rumble affected the interior of the house. Some things fell off the walls, and the pool in the backyard had water splashing out because of the earthquake. Surveillance cameras captured the chilling moments when brazen thieves broke into an Encino home. The video initially shows two hooded figures skulking around the property. They peer through windows, likely searching for the homeowners or a vulnerable entry point, before shattering a sliding glass door and smashing their way through a doorway. The suspects made their way inside, tiptoeing up to the second floor. What they took remains a mystery, but as they left through the front door, they were clearly caught on the home security camera. One of them deliberately reached for the house's door camera and twisted it out of view.
Trying to hide their tracks without realizing they were being watched the whole time. The home burglary happened earlier this month during the middle of the day. Surveillance cameras around the Encino home captured the burglars' every move, from peeping through a sliding glass door to smashing a doorway.
A few days earlier, a similar incident occurred at another Encino Hills home. This time, the homeowners were present and managed to scare off the intruders. The four assailants were captured on camera fleeing into the street. When interviewed by the Express, the shaken victims reported seeing no weapons, only backpacks. In the end, nothing was stolen and no one was harmed. The burglars had sneaked in through a neighboring house still under construction. CCTV footage showed them crawling under a fence. While it's a wild guess to say if these two incidents are connected, in similar cases in the area, the assailants have tampered with the Ring cameras.
Suspects came in through the house next door, which is under construction. You see them crawling behind some of the fencing as they eventually sneak into the property. It's unclear if the two incidents are related, but in the latest case, the suspects managed to turn away some of the security cameras. According to police, there have been more than 400 burglaries in the Encino area in the last 12 months.
This doorbell camera shows three men attempting to break into a home. At first, they peered to see if anyone was watching them or outside. Then, they advanced closer, knowing that the environment was safe to come out of hiding. As they drew closer to the door, it could be seen that two of the men carried a load of nylon, which seemed heavy as they tried to carry it close to the doorstep. When they had gotten to the door, they dropped the nylon, alerted the homeowner, and fled. In the chilling home security footage, a woman named Hodge received a startling alert. Someone had been caught on her camera. When she checked, she was stunned to see a ghostly figure that looked exactly like her son, Robbie, who died in 2016. Hodge told media outlets that her son had tragically passed away from an accidental drug overdose. We showed the eerie images to paranormal investigators Heather Thompson and Stephanie Fort from Paranormal Georgia Investigations, and they agreed with Hodge's shocking discovery. This unexplainable paranormal phenomenon brought the woman unexpected comfort. She felt relieved and joyous, believing that her beloved son, even in death, was still with them. Some videos are so terrifying, just seeing them might make you pass out, and this is one of them. This guy's CCTV camera caught something really strange in his living room. He's sound asleep on the couch, while his black cat seems uneasy, pacing around as if sensing something wrong. Suddenly, there's a flash of light, moving around like someone's playing with a flashlight. The room's lights start flickering, and the poor cat keeps meowing, perhaps trying to rouse its owner from his slumber. The man must have been genuinely shocked or scared when he saw this footage. The doorbell camera captured a woman and her child entering their apartment late at night, unaware of a strange man following them. Once inside, the woman quickly locked the door, but the man reached it seconds later, trying to open it. Alerted, the woman demanded to know who was there, but the man stayed silent. Undeterred, she bravely ordered him to leave. Still, he lingered. In this chilling footage, the homeowner adjusts a security camera in the bedroom before bed, hoping to uncover the source of mysterious night.
And here's what they saw. You can see a man go to the front door. It's locked. He then headed to the back door. Yep, it's locked too. So the suspect stood on the railing, climbing onto the balcony.
Time disturbances. Once done, he joins his wife in bed and extinguishes the lights. At 4:27 a.m., the wardrobe door swings open on its own, and the lamp beside the bed crashes to the floor. It's not the wind, the room is too calm, but the camera catches a dark figure quickly retreating from beneath the bed after the lamp falls. In the dead of night, a man and his girlfriend left their house. Moments later, a masked figure with a frightening presence appeared at the door. He pounded on it, desperate to gain entry. Clutching a shawl as if carrying a baby, he feigned distress, hoping to manipulate the homeowners. Unable to open the door, he resorted to peering through the windows, seeking an opportunity. But his deceit was
She said a random man had been following her home. He even entered her apartment block, and this is when things get more scary. She fumbles with her keys as she tries to open her door, and just as the man comes round the corner, she gets inside and shuts the door.
exposed. There was no baby in the shawl. Frustrated, he flung it aside, resorting to violent attempts to breach the house. He pounded the door and windows, then grabbed a chair, hurling it at the glass in a desperate bid to force his way inside. In broad daylight, clueless burglars were captured on camera breaking into a
just in time to see the stranger rattling his doorknob, then heading toward his backyard.
Immediately I call 911. I tell them, hey, I believe somebody's trying to break into my home.
They sneaked into the yard through the fence, two of them working together. One struggled with the window while the other kept watch. Eventually, the second man joined in, both using tools to force the window open. They wore regular clothes, their faces exposed, showing they didn't fear being
Seen here on Chris's cell phone video picking up his shoe. Chris says that's when Flint fled down the block.
I was following him for about 2 blocks.
Then turned Flint into police.
seen. Their only concern was their task. In the end, they succeeded in breaking the window and gaining entry to the house. In this chilling video, a woman stepped out of her house to retrieve clothes from the line. Unaware, a sinister creature watched her every move. As she emerged, the light flickered off briefly, then returned in a sudden flash. Unfazed,
Get the out! I'll call the police! Get out! Huh?
A homeowner screams at a man to get out after he breaks in naked, takes a swim, takes a shower, then puts on her husband's clothes, then allegedly kills 2 of the family pets.
she carried on with her task, but as she returned indoors, the home security camera captured a terrifying sight. A ghostly figure lurking on the other side of the fence, shrouded in a white veil. On a dark, spooky night, a bunch of kids were alone at home having fun and playing around innocently. Suddenly, a wave of horror crashed over.
Moments later, watch here as Matt Sobbs came face to face with the man.
So my initial reaction was just scream and say, hey, what are you doing in my house? Hoping that he would just go away or say he got the wrong house.
Them as a ghostly figure materialized at the doorway, making them scream and bolt in terror. Another bone-chilling night, the children thought it was safe to play again. But out of nowhere, one of them was yanked across the floor by something they couldn't see. Terrified, they all ran to the bathroom, leaving their friend struggling against an invisible force. fighting for her life. On a cold, dark night in April 2023, a lone homeowner was saved by the vigilance of their Ring doorbell and cameras. 2 cameras stood guard over the house, one at the entrance and another on the side. As the night wore on, the side camera captured eerie footage. A figure cloaked in red, with another lurking in black, approached the front door. The hour.
Man is homeless and got in using a garage door opener left in an unlocked car. Sub says security video also shows the suspect killing the family's 2 birds.
A chilling scene unfolded as a violent home break-in was caught on a surveillance camera. The footage showed a man forcefully busting through a front door with alarming speed and strength. Earlier that morning, police had identified the man as the culprit behind a series of terrifying home invasions. He had broken into at least 5 houses, leaving a trail of fear and destruction. In one heart-pounding incident, a brave homeowner confronted the intruder. With shaking hands, he fired a gun at the man, who narrowly escaped. Neighbors, determined and vigilant, chased the suspect down the dark streets until the police arrived.
Police say that's just one of at least 5 houses the man is accused of forcing his way into. It all started this morning when police say a car went off the road off Adair Bluffs near South W.W. White.
In another spine-tingling break-in, a 71-year-old homeowner woke up to find the intruder in his bedroom. A fierce struggle ensued. The elderly man, fueled by adrenaline, shot at the suspect multiple times. However, the intruder, with cold determination, wrestled the gun away, hit the homeowner several times, and then fled.
2 large stumps in my backyard.
This neighbor said his house was almost a target.
And then I yelled, and then he jumped the fence, and then he started his escapades down the neighborhood.
Hearing the whole commotion, the whole neighborhood came out and chased after the suspect, eventually catching him. The injured elderly man was taken to the hospital, and the assailant, a 26-year-old man, was eventually captured and charged with assault with a deadly weapon.
From down that way.
But neighbors didn't let him get too far.
This home security camera footage captures the mayhem unleashed by a raging tornado. Various items, like nylon, umbrellas, and leaves, whirl through the neighborhood, showcasing the ferocity of the storm. In the midst of the chaos, a brave driver attempts to navigate through the tempest. But as the tornado's strength escalates, the danger becomes palpable. Trees sway perilously, and the air crackles with tension. Sensing the impending peril, the driver wisely halts, allowing the tornado's fury to abate slightly before seeking a safer route. In the Milwaukee district, home surveillance footage captures a suspect entering a quiet neighborhood while an officer seeks cover. Backup arrives as 2 more officers join in to apprehend the suspect.
A 24-year-old man walking through an alley this past Saturday morning on Milwaukee's north side. A few minutes later, a police officer arrives. He appears to take cover behind a tree.
Following a tense and harrowing standoff, the suspect is subdued without any injuries to the officers. Despite the alarming sound of approximately 20 gunshots heard by neighbors, thankfully, no one was harmed.
More officers arrive for backup. The next time we see the suspect, he's being pulled out on a gurney by police.
In this terrifying home ring camera footage, a brazen burglar prowls through a couple's home, seizing valuables while they're away. The couple, bombarded with 12 notifications from their Ring app, were unaware of the intruder's invasion. The burglar's entry was cunning. He slipped through an unlocked window after scaling a locked gate and clambering through the kitchen. Inside, he skulked through the shadows, hunting for treasures.
Identifying the burglar because Henderson police have not arrested or charged the person. But the Hayats say on Saturday night, he jumped their locked gate and climbed through their kitchen window.
Crafty and meticulous, the suspect methodically cleansed his fingerprints with a sponge, leaving no trace behind. But unbeknownst to him, the vigilant Ring cameras captured his every move. By the time the couple discovered the intrusion in the morning, the intruder had already spent a chilling hour scouring their home for loot.
burglar, thinking he wouldn't leave any trace of him, took a sponge to wipe off his fingerprints. The Hayats say the burglar was in their house for over an hour, going room to room.
Summoning the authorities, the couple awaited the police, only to learn a disturbing twist. Several children had earlier approached their doorbell, possibly part of a sinister setup.
They called police. But the odd thing is, the Hayats tell us earlier in the day there were children ringing their doorbell.
This home surveillance video unfolds a chilling mistake. The police raided the wrong home. Responding to a distress call about a suspect in the neighborhood, they stormed into what they believed was the refuge of their target. Thinking they had the culprit cornered, they ordered the startled homeowner and his girlfriend to raise their hands while they combed through the house. Moments later, reinforcements poured in, swelling their numbers to about a dozen officers.
Within seconds, there were more than a half-dozen police officers inside his home.
As tensions ran high, an officer caught sight of an innocuous camera inside the house and swiftly redirected it, realizing they had intruded upon the lives of innocent people. The mistake dawns upon them, casting a shadow of doubt over their actions.
That's because you can see an officer turn the camera toward the wall.
This spine-chilling home surveillance footage, captured by a nanny cam, unveils a terrifying scene. A suspect prowling inside the home of a young couple while they were away. He brandishes an AK-47 rifle, his sinister intentions clear as he raids the premises. With chilling calmness, the gunman seizes the couple's prized possessions, including their smart-screen television, laptop, and precious jewelry. His solitary presence suggests a dangerous and calculated mission, as he had already terrorized the neighborhood earlier that day.
Georgia police tonight are hoping that this surveillance video from a nanny cam will lead them to this alleged armed robber accused of terrorizing homeowners in Atlanta. He's seen here Friday with what police believe is an AK-47, breaking into a young couple's home with his gun drawn. The family was away at the time, and he walks out with their flat screen, a laptop, and jewelry.
It was just before 10 at night when a stranger appeared at the door. He peered through the windows and tried to open the door. The surveillance cameras followed his movements as he returned with a bike and left with a package from the front door. This all happened on the 3300 block of Creswell Street at the Vuich family's home.
It was just before 10 at night, this stranger at the door peering through the windows and trying to open the door. Surveillance followed the suspect's movements as he returned with a bike and left with a package at the front door. This all happened May 7th on the 3300 block of Creswell Street.
The man placed the ladder that he found in the yard against the kitchen roof and climbed up, attempting to get into the bedroom, but the windows were locked, so he didn't succeed.
And at Rich Ennis's son's home.
There was a ladder in the yard. He put the ladder up on the kitchen roof, climbed up, and he tried to get in the bedroom, but the windows were all locked, so he didn't get in.
Although he failed here, a few minutes away on Frederick Street, police say he was successful. A photo shared with Action News showed the suspect inside another home. Neighbors said he entered through a window and was recorded eating the homeowner's food. Police believe he's connected to several other residential burglaries and thefts around East Falls.
He wasn't successful here, but a few minutes away on Frederick Street, police say he was. This photo shared with Action News was taken of the suspect inside that home. It was here neighbors say he entered the home through a window and was recorded eating the homeowner's food. Police believe he's connected to several other residential burglaries and thefts around East Falls.
The resident said that the man had facial hair and seemed thin and tall. Another homeowner believes the same suspect was spotted rummaging through his backyard last week. The intruder didn't take anything, but he took his time seeing what the homeowner had, and then he just moved up the block. Luckily, no one has been hurt in any of these cases.
The man had facial hair, he seemed thin and tall.
John Howie says he believes the same suspect was spotted rummaging through his backyard last week.
Didn't take anything, but he, definitely took his time seeing what I had, and then he just kind of moved up the block.
This gripping event unfolded in just 1 minute and 56 seconds. While the homeowner was at work, her sense of security was shattered as she received a notification that intruders were in her home.
I got an alert on my phone that said our camera had spotted someone. I opened the app, and when I opened it, I saw an actual human standing in our kitchen.
The video shows two suspects breaking the glass of her window entering the house and heading straight to the kitchen and other rooms, taking valuables and a safe.
Panic sets in.
As the glass door shattered, so did this woman's sense of security.
Yeah, it was terrifying. You know, I didn't even have to pull up full screen to have my heart just stop and sink.
Before the police arrived, the intruders had already left with an irreplaceable item: her grandmother's ashes.
The tail end of it.
The bad guys got off with a few valuables, but also something money can't buy.
With my grandma.
Her grandmother's ashes were inside of the safe that was stolen.
Two men walk into an apartment. As they enter, they turn on their flashlights and then switch on the house lights. Later, the armed suspects get into a fight with another man who tries to stop them. After subduing him with a few punches, he runs away from the house. The suspects then repeatedly enter the house to obtain certain items. This clip shows a man stealthily approaching a door. He is considered a burglary suspect. After finally reaching the door and peeking inside, he suddenly turns around and runs away. This home doorbell camera footage captures a terrifying moment as a man is robbed late at night by a gang of suspects while trying to enter his house.
Video shows a man being robbed at gunpoint, all caught on the homeowner's ring.
With his hands up and blood on his head, the man is forced to open his house door after the suspects take everything he has on him. One of the suspects points a gun at his head, compelling him to comply. Inside the house, his girlfriend and child can be heard fearfully screaming, overwhelmed by the entire incident. In this quiet neighborhood in South Sacramento, something strange was happening. A shadowy figure was prowling the streets, and his target was something unexpected: their home surveillance cameras. In one home, a camera caught a glimpse of the man as he reached up, and with a swift, practiced motion, he ripped the camera from its perch. The screen went black, but the thief's image was burned into the memory card. This wasn't an isolated incident. Over the next few days, similar scenes played out in 5 different homes across the area. The mysterious man, dressed in dark clothing, struck again and again. One frustrated homeowner decided to take action. They posted about their experience with a local crime watch group on Facebook. The post quickly gained attention, and others shared their own chilling stories. In one particularly disturbing case, a family had just replaced their security system after it had been stolen a week before. They thought they were safe again, but the thief struck once more, ripping the new Ring doorbell camera right off their front door wall. The camera only captured the sound of it being torn away.
Here he is. Moments later, he reaches up and grabs the camera. This happened off La Mancha Drive. You better believe the homeowner filed a police report. This man not only stole their main camera, but also this one.
A young boy named Errol recently experienced the scare of his life. His mother shared a home security video that captured the terrifying event. In the video, you can see Errol in their living room on the evening of May 1st, just before 7 p.m. Suddenly, gunfire erupted outside, and Errol had to quickly take cover in his parents' room. The gunfire left bullet holes in several walls of their home. Home surveillance footage obtained by Fox 5 vividly captures the chaotic scene of a shootout that occurred on Friday evening in Northeast D.C. The video shows numerous individuals engaging in gunfire, causing panic among neighbors. The incident began around 6:41 p.m. and unfolded in the 1200 block of Sims Place Northeast. In the footage, the intense exchange of gunfire lasts for less than 2 minutes. Amidst the chaos, some of the gunmen are seen assisting a person who was wounded in the shooting. The authorities arrived at the scene shortly after the incident. This chilling home footage unveils a teen's birthday party at an Airbnb rental in Manville, escalating into a shocking shootout. The video depicts numerous individuals, presumably teenagers, fleeing in terror and screaming simultaneously. Some teens at the scene seek cover as a white vehicle arrives and quickly departs from the premises. This humorous home surveillance video captures a thief in action at a Cypress home. A white car pulls up in front of the house, and the suspect, dressed in all black, exits the vehicle and attempts to break in. He even sabotages the porch light before sneaking inside. Once inside, the suspect rummages through the homeowner's belongings, inspecting various bags for valuables. He gathers some items into a larger bag, hoping for more loot. However, he notices the camera in the room and tries unsuccessfully to disable it by throwing objects at it. Realizing he's likely been caught on camera, he hastily retreats from the scene. A Covina residence doorbell camera potentially thwarted a dangerous situation involving 2 armed individuals carrying a gun, brass knuckles, and a tire iron right outside his front door. The intruders lingered outside, knocking on the door and attempting to summon the homeowner verbally. However, receiving no response, they eventually abandoned their attempt and departed.
Yo! Yo, Kevin! Come on, bro.
At precisely 1:38 p.m., this home surveillance footage captures a suspect entering an apartment. She carefully scans the area to ensure no one is observing her, then ingeniously uses her red shirt to manipulate the door handle, unlocking the door. Shortly after, she cautiously looked around once more before hastily departing the premises in the same manner in which she arrived. This video captures a burglar entering a man's house in East Austin. As the burglar steps inside, he is carrying a laptop and charger, clearly intent on stealing. Moving through different sections of the house, he appears agitated, pacing back and forth. He then proceeds to open a door, briefly inspecting a black item before discarding it. Moments later, he rummages through the drawers in the sitting room and the wardrobe, hastily searching for more items to steal. Home surveillance video captured the terrifying moment when a 7.0 magnitude earthquake struck Alaska on Friday morning. Homeowner Eric Nellius shares the footage from a camera at his home in Palmer, Alaska, approximately 40 miles northeast of Anchorage. The footage depicts about 20 seconds of intense shaking, causing the entire house and its components to tremble. This woman can be seen grabbing her son and rushing toward the front door until the shaking finally subsides. This dramatic home surveillance footage reveals a terrifying two-alarm fire, with neighbors stepping in heroically to assist. The fire erupted unexpectedly, catching the attention of one neighbor who happened to be in his garage monitoring his devices. Reacting with shock and immediate concern, he grasped the severity of the unfolding situation. Understanding the imminent danger to lives and properties, he swiftly organized a response, sending his wife and a friend to alert neighbors by knocking on doors down the street. He took action himself, grabbing a garden hose to combat the flames. Two other neighbors quickly joined him, bringing additional hoses, and together they battled the blaze. By the time firefighters arrived, the community had already rallied, working tirelessly to contain the fire and protect their homes and neighbors. This video captures the suspects and their car involved in the assault and shooting of a 71-year-old woman in South Seattle. Two individuals are observed fleeing outside the fenced yard, one wearing white and the other black. This video depicts two suspects in a black Volkswagen Tiguan allegedly entering a parking structure near Crypto.com Arena around 8 p.m. The footage shows them following two victims as they exit their vehicle and head towards a lobby elevator. While the victims wait for the elevator, two armed suspects wearing ski masks emerge from the Tiguan and approach them, brandishing handguns and demanding their belongings at gunpoint. The victims are forced to kneel as the suspects take their jewelry, phones, and keys. One suspect drives away in the victim's vehicle, while the others flee in the Tiguan. The family of a man killed in a home invasion robbery on Jacksonville's west side in January has released surveillance footage showing 2 men dressed in black outfits. The armed suspects can be seen pointing their guns in the same direction at night. Additionally, a hand can be observed pointing in the opposite direction towards the armed suspects as they continue to move while holding their guns. In this home surveillance footage, a car arrives at a house in Kirkwood late at night, signaling the start of a coordinated operation. The vehicle approaches slowly before coming to a stop, and several men dressed in dark, suspicious outfits emerge, each with a clear purpose. The men advance towards the door of the targeted apartment with deliberate movements. Moonlight glints off the firearms they carry, indicating their dangerous intent. One intruder uses a heavy block to forcefully break the door, allowing the others to enter. Once inside, the gang moves quickly, ransacking rooms for valuables. Outside, a getaway car arrives in sync with the burglary. Laden with stolen goods, the gang swiftly exits the house, returning to the waiting vehicle. Despite the potential for detection, they manage to escape unnoticed into the night. This surveillance video captures a harrowing moment in Brentwood as 2 suspects boldly enter a garage, demanding the homeowner open his safe. Anticipating money, they are instead met with guns, leading to a rapid escalation. Within seconds, gunfire erupts, culminating in the fatal end of the attempted robbery as both suspects are shot dead. This starkly illustrates the dangers of such criminal actions and the lengths individuals will go to protect their homes and loved ones.